referee today is Pierluigi Magni, who comes from Bergamo. The final team announcement awaited with great interest to confirm the return of Maradona. He didn't play in Napoli's last league game away to Pari following that escapade in the European Cup. And the Napoli supporters here wondering just how much longer the number 10 shirt will be worn by the hero of the 80s, who's taken on a rather different dimension this year. And indeed there were signs even before that of his disenchantment with the club, but there's no doubt he remains one of the great draws in the game. And putting aside all the current problems, Sampdoria will give him a very big test to see just how much of an influence he can still be, whether he's physically right, whether he's mentally right to still do the job that Careca, playing up with him, knows he can do in theory. And Vialli is out there as well, so comparisons today will be fascinating. Gianluca Vialli, who had his own disenchantment in the World Cup, where he failed really to deliver the real skills that he has for an international audience. It might be a tough afternoon for goalkeepers like Giovanni Galli of Napoli. A Napoli kick-off. Lombardo immediately getting a tackle in. And when you think that Napoli started last season, the season that they finished as champions, with an unbeaten run of 16 games, and this season they drew their opening game and lost the next two, and no wonder things are slightly different here at this stage than a year ago. Maradona. Incocciati as well as Careca, Maradona won't lack for attacking support, but you sense it's very important for Napoli, for their own peace of mind, to get the support behind them, that they make a good start against Sampdoria, unbeaten in their 8 games. They've won 5 and drawn 3, and they've been solid in away matches rather than spectacular. 3 goalless draws on their travels so far, and a 1-0 win, a great win, away to Milan in the San Siro stadium. Here's Pellegrini. And Sampdoria trying to allow themselves time to settle, but looking for a bit more than that now with Lombardo's run, and it was Corradini who came across and impeded him. Who is one of the quickest runners in the Italian game. Actually, Corradini went to make a challenge and then seemed to pull out, and there seemed to be daylight there between the two players, and yet Lombardo is getting some fairly extensive treatment here. Roberto Mancini, who I'm sure will be delighted to have Vialli back in full working order. The two have a great understanding. Mancini, I don't think that was what he had in mind. He was looking further forward for Vialli, and the ball just running through, deflected by Katanec. 2 impish touches from Maradona already. Here's Mikhaijlichenko from the Soviet Union. Pellegrini is the sweeper for Sampdoria. Vierchowod, a marker of real discipline. Tough player to do well against, even for the likes of Careca. Sampdoria, who've never won the championship, but Napoli were in that stage until Maradona arrived. Alemao lifting it forward cleverly for De Napoli, who tried to do the same, and Careca was impeded in a nasty way. Sampdoria were panicking then that there was going to be a route straight through the centre. Alemao and De Napoli had lifted the ball on. Here's De Napoli's part. Got in behind Mikhaijlichenko just for a second, and that was enough to help the ball on forward. And Pellegrini came across with a challenge which was really more from the realms of ice hockey, to take out Careca. Pagliuca is the Sampdoria goalkeeper. Maradona wanting to try it directly himself, and he got help from Baroni. Ground this for Sampdoria in recent seasons, an indication of their growth in stature as a club. Of their last 4 visits in the league, they've drawn 3 and won the other. You have to go way back to April 1986, the tail end of that 85-86 season, to find Napoli's last home win against today's opponents. Pellegrini had to come across again, but there was nothing wrong with his challenge that time. Crippa looking to get De Napoli away down that right-hand side. Pari finding that Maradona can still manipulate the ball like a magician. Oh, and it's given back to him by Dossena and Careca, and it was scuffed in the end, the shot, from a very frustrated Fernando De Napoli. All came from a mistake on the far side by Sampdoria's Pepe Dossena. De Napoli coming onto the ball, facing the goal in that situation, really would have expected to have done better. Pagliuca not even called upon to make a save. Lombardo. Vialli and Mancini with its sixth sense of where each other positions himself. And Lombardo linking up as well, and Sampdoria have a corner. And there's a problem here for Francini. It's good to see these days how quickly the medical men react to any problems concerning a head injury. Maradona also leaning over just to check how his teammate is, and Vialli indicating to the bench that there might be a need for a substitution. And Francini at the moment still not absolutely sure as to where he is, I don't think. Most capable defender, a past Italian international, and they haven't waited for the stretcher. Which has now arrived. Francini with only 8 minutes gone. He went in with Lombardo, who got the ball, and Francini simply headed the back of Lombardo's head. So the substitute for Napoli is Giorgio Venturin. And that will mean a little bit of reorganisation here. Venturin is more of a midfield player at the moment. As the game restarts with the corner, Venturin's guarding the near post. Vierchowod, always a dangerous player in the air at set pieces. And they have taken absolutely no risks with Francini, and that's got to be the right decision. Maradona. This is Careca. And Sampdoria's turn to look a little uneasy. Lombardo using the pace on the ball to defend, and then not able to complete the clearance, really. Oh, and a good stop from Venturin by Pagliuca, and there's a great open field to this game now. Venturin, the substitute, made a great run then and was rewarded by the ball arriving, courtesy of a delicate header by Careca. Incocciati was the Napoli player in the centre. Venturin went for goal, and he was probably entitled to do that, and it was kicked away by Pagliuca. Venturin so anxious to keep it in, and in fact did the opposite. Almost holding off Lanna. Lanna's only 22. And he's playing because Manini's unfit. Venturin. Oh, and a mix-up here. There's a great chance for Venturin, and it wouldn't go in for Napoli, the team that is struggling to find a goal and really needs to be more ruthless. He's had 2 chances now, but they're coming on strong, the home side, as half-time approaches. Still 10 minutes of the first half remains. Oh, and the goalkeeper hardly saw that from Crippa. Maradona. Alemao trying to curve it away from the goalkeeper. And Careca looking to knock it down for Incocciati, and I think annoyed that Incocciati was a little flat-footed then. But there wasn't much angle from Careca's head back across goal. But this was the better opportunity. The goalkeeper completely stranded. Venturin hit it, and Vierchowod got into the line of the shot and saved the day for Sampdoria. What they'll be like if and when Napoli score. And Boyadin Boskov understandably concerned. Napoli have taken the initiative over the last 10 minutes or so. Lombardo. Whatever happens here, Napoli of course can't go to the top of the table, but it would give them some satisfaction to get a win which could knock Sampdoria from their perch. Pellegrini, that's an inviting pass. Ferrara coping with it to stop Mancini sneaking in. Pari. Maradona. Encouraging thing how much everyone's wanting the ball at the moment. Mikhaijlichenko with terrific perception to see where Katanec, or to be aware of where Katanec was. He certainly couldn't see. He was going in the other direction. Alemao with the cross, and again Pagliuca claims it capably. Dossena. Vialli able to turn and keep attacking. Mikhaijlichenko is up in support. And it's going to be a free kick, as Vialli was hacked down from behind. He came back last week against Pisa in the league. He was presented with a goal, all gift wrapped for him by Mancini, who just rolled the ball across for Vialli to stab in, having done all the hard work himself. It's been quite quiet for Galli over the second part of the first half, but he's got to be on his toes now, perhaps. And he's there. And no fumble by the goalkeeper. Vialli was ready to bounce, had that been the case. It was a Sampdoria break that had broken some of the grip that Napoli were beginning to exert. Alemao. Napoli and Careca. The Brazilian is looking for some help now. And it comes from the left side. And it was Ferrara's cross that bounced away off Lanna. Taking time off from his marking duties just for a moment, Ciro Ferrara. So Napoli well ahead on the corner count. Careca, Incocciati! Well, the goal that looked like coming has arrived. Some credit with Careca, of course, as well. And Incocciati is nowhere to be found in his celebrations, so Argentinian takes the corner. Brazilian meets it unmarked, and an Italian rounds it off. Certainly a deserved goal for the team that's found it hard to score this season. But Sampdoria asleep at the corner. They were nowhere near Careca or the scorer, Giuseppe Incocciati. Vigon takes it all fairly calmly. Oh, and Baroni has slipped. It's 1-1. It's Vialli. Amazing. What a change in emotion. Vialli could hardly believe his luck, but he wasn't left wondering how the ball got to him. He simply dispatched it. This is how it did happen. Baroni simply missed it. As he collapsed, so too did Napoli's lead. Vialli, 2 games now this season, 2 goals, and just what Sampdoria would have wanted but could have scarcely believed would happen. And you just wonder how Napoli will cope, because their confidence isn't altogether rock solid after what they've been going through this season. Great hopes in the European European Cup, but they're already out of that. Maradona! But the chances continuing to come. That will keep their confidence up. Napoli, away by Mikhaijlichenko. Guided back by Dossena. Pagliuca wants everything calm now. We're into injury time. Intriguing first 40 minutes, then an exchange of fire. Incocciati with Vialli replying in kind, and suddenly from 0-0, really in hardly time to blink, it's 1-1. In this position, they're playing for half-time. They could have no complaints really on the balance of play if they'd gone in a goal down. Certainly no complaints in the way they allowed the goal to happen, which was slovenly marking. But Vialli has had his say, and it's 1-1. Vialli now can't quite get the depth of the cross that he wanted, but he might have another try. Corradini gave the ball back to him. Oh, it's another one! It's Mancini! And Boskov on the bench has to compose himself. He's as stunned as the rest of us. Roberto Mancini, after Vialli had been given the ball back by the number 7, Corradini. It was a lovely lobbed cross. It went over Katanec, but Mancini was waiting behind him to guide in the header. And it was the last touch of the first half. The whistle has gone, but what a touch. Sampdoria, who could have gone in at half-time a goal down, now they lead by 2-1. A fascinating first half with an astonishing climax. Napoli 1, Sampdoria 2. Sampdoria start the second half, and how will Napoli's nerve hold after those disasters which befell them in the closing moments of the first half? They'd worked so hard for their 1-goal lead, and then their joy wiped out immediately by Vialli's equaliser, and the problem compounded when they allowed Vialli to set up the second for Mancini. Sampdoria certainly taking full advantage of a relatively small number of chances, and they're very nearly in again. And Mikhaijlichenko puts his hands to his head in disappointment because he was onside. I don't think the Napoli wounds would take too much salt being rubbed in them at this stage. They're deep enough. But there's plenty of time for recovery. At least they can be heartened by some of the football that they played before the goals came raining down on us. Maradona. Napoli, all anxious to turn things back his team's way. Dossena. Vialli is taking up an intelligent position once more, but Corradini diffused the situation then, and how he must be wishing that he'd done the same in stoppage time when he had the opportunity to clear the danger and only gave the ball straight back to Vialli. One cross, one header. Sampdoria in front. Alemao. When you think that Napoli went through their championship season without losing at home, already they've lost here to the newly promoted Cagliari. That was a real shock on the second Sunday of the season back in September. Today when Alemao got himself sent off, which was really at the root of the problems. Crippa following through on Pellegrini. Well, as I was saying earlier, Sampdoria in the habit of going away with something from their visits to Naples. 1-1 last season and the season before, a 2-1 win. The 87-88 campaign, another 1-1 draw the year before that. But you feel there's a lot more going to happen before they can be sure of making off with the points. Crippa carrying the fight forward. Napoli. Alemao, it's worth a shot. It's not a bad run. The goalkeeper's lost it and somehow recovered when Incocciati, and I think it was Napoli following in, seemed to slightly confuse each other. Pagliuca wouldn't have been hurt if he'd hung on to the first one. But it was a very brave block the second time around. Alemao connected pretty sweetly here. And in the defence of the goalkeeper, it had that awkward bounce in front of him. Couldn't cope with that. In came Napoli, and Incocciati was a distraction. And Pagliuca did very, very well to make the second save. Whether that might be a moment Napoli will live to regret. It was there for the taking, it seemed, as Napoli came roaring in. The goalkeeper could only push the ball out. Mikhaijlichenko, but Sampdoria, of course, were wasteful themselves in the opening seconds of this second half. Mikhaijlichenko wanted too long. Maradona. Sensing that he struggles for acceleration these days. But he's forced a corner. 7-1 to Napoli in the corner count, 2-1 to Sampdoria in the statistics that really matter. It's a brilliant cross from Maradona. Oh, Alemao! Was it over the line, off the bar? No, not given. Plenty of Napoli arms raised to claim the goal then. So twice in a matter of seconds, he has troubled Sampdoria so much. Terrific work by Maradona in the first place, and then Alemao seizing on the loose ball. Underside of the bar, definitely not over the line. The appeals were more out of frustration than any real conviction. It's looking as though it's going to be a sapping second half for Sampdoria. And we'll see, really, just how good they are, the current league leaders. Voskov not pleased with what he's saying. It looks from that exhortation, but it's just sheer work rate that he wants more of. Napoli in control, but they are losing by 2-1 because of an incredible sequence of events just before half-time. Dossena. Well anticipated by Ferrara, who's involved again. Past Mikhaijlichenko, Sampdoria responding to Moscow's pleading. Venturin. Trying to get it into Careca. Galli having to help out at the back. Just about accomplishing his task. Just about. Napoli really with the bit between their teeth again. And it's a good show of character from Albertino Bigon's men. There's obviously a question mark about Napoli at the moment. But they've come out fighting. And in Alemao's case, they've come out shooting. Oh, and he's pulled up a bit lame here. Surely that's not going to afflict Napoli further. Already with one substitute on as early as the 8th minute, remember. Here he is, Venturin. Katanec. And now Mancini. Steering it back with Dossena. Mikhaijlichenko on the scene. Quickly enough to get to the ball then, but Mikhaijlichenko had already been tripped by Corradini. Napoli really have no margin for error now. One goal, well, that's certainly within their capabilities to get back. If they were to lose another one here, the doubts would be considerable. Mancini dinks it in, not to where his teammates were darting to. Katanec. Pari and Vialli exchanging passes, and Vialli with a chance to measure across, only finding the head of Corradini. Galli very much in a hurry to get the game restarted. Ferrara. Time marking on Incocciati, the scorer of the Napoli goal. Crippa. Held by Katanec. It's been a good duel between those two, and Pari has to concede a corner. Sampdoria certainly won't want to be caught out by the same defensive slackness as they showed when Maradona took that corner to lead to the first goal of the game. Vialli, well, that's cheek, really, on the edge of his own penalty area. Mikhaijlichenko, Mancini, a little give and go here. And off goes Mancini again. He is prepared to battle for it. But Ferrara, two players who know each other pretty well. Ferrara was the quicker of the two of them. They spent a lot of time sitting side by side on Italy's bench during the World Cup. Incocciati. Good kick given against Katanec, although Vierchowod it was who came up with the ball. '27, 2 days ago, in fact. Giuseppe Incocciati, he's got his belated birthday present with a goal. suit Sampdoria if they can to take some of the sting out of Napoli in the early minutes of the second half. I'm sure that's not exactly the policy. Just finding it hard to win the ball and attack because Napoli are full of players with strong, powerful capabilities like Napoli, but he's lost out here to Katanec, the Yugoslav. And here's the player from Kiev, Mikhaijlichenko. Katanec is hurt. Mikhaijlichenko, here's the whistle. Because Ferrara, who followed through there, has been shown the yellow card. Katanec has had more than his fair share of injuries. Whether it's due to the rather leggy nature of his build, he's not solid and compact like the player holding the ball, Pari. Sometimes the joints can take extra strain because of that. That free kick and the early whistle certainly penalised Mikhaijlichenko, who was away. Well, Sampdoria are going to take off Dossena. Now, Bonetti, who's coming on, also plays on the left-hand side, but usually in a more defensive role. Mikhaijlichenko. Well, that was a useful strike. Bounced off Corradini, and Vialli was alert to the loose ball. Here's Vialli again, who's looking so pleased to be back and playing. He wants to be everywhere. Corradini. Alemao, who's shown any recent sign of the limping that afflicted him a few minutes ago. Now, can Napoli, in the presence of Ferrara, get the ball across? He failed them. Almost too urgent in his work. And look at Lombardo streaking forward. The Sampdoria sense a position here that might increase their lead. Mikhaijlichenko. It's Vialli! It is 3-1. And Gianluca Vialli really is back in business. He scored 2 for Sampdoria here. He's made the other one, and this was a very, very difficult volley indeed. It's dropping over his shoulder, and yet the contact is sweet enough to knock it beyond a stunned Galli, and the crowd here also stunned. They can't believe what they're seeing. It really is smash and grab by Sampdoria. The remaining half an hour will be perhaps that much easier for the cushion of a 2-goal lead. Napoli continue to force the corners, and the only benefit in that is that they did score from one of them. Maradona, superb, the header from Napoli. Careca, Pellegrini was there by the post. Well, if you wanted the way this game has gone summed up in a matter of seconds, the last 2 hits will tell you. Everything right for Sampdoria, no luck for Napoli. Venturin. And in a way that says a lot about the respective seasons so far for the two clubs. Can do here is just to keep their chins up and their concentration high, and just keep doing the same things that have produced the chances and hope that they might get a little splurge of goals as Sampdoria have done. But Vialli is in magnificent form. What a shame that he didn't play like this for Italy in the World Cup. The world would have been better for watching that. Well, they've come from Genoa. Incocciati, Maradona was a bit of holding there. Referee Manu has been very good in his positional sense. So Napoli have conceded a goal since half-time. They've also struck the bar, they've struck a post, they've seen Pagliuca pull off a double save. Is there any justice, they'll be wondering. Venturin. Ferrara to use Careca's skill in the air, and Crippa was just slightly off balance when he launched himself into the shot. Sampdoria, who came here leading the Italian First Division and expected a grilling really from the defending champions, and you still feel that if that soft equaliser hadn't happened, they might have got one. Maradona tries again. Corradini, and has to take much of the blame for the second goal. Crippa's cross, it's a good one to Vierchowod there at the near post for Sampdoria. Lombardo happy just to get the ball out for the throw. Napoli still playing, but not with the same passion. And Pagliuca expected to catch that one, maybe just took his eye off it. And again, there was no punishment for Sampdoria. The players with the yellow cards. Pellegrini, to my mind, was lucky not to join them. Foul here given against Bonetti, and it's a free kick to Napoli. The clock is against them. The scoreline is against them. Vialli's header could have worked for them. Alemao again! Well, he's deserved a goal if anyone has. He's lined up 3 cracking efforts in the second half. One to Mikhaijlichenko from Baroni. Mancini, Lombardo. Baroni stepped in that time. And carries on running forward to try and link up with Crippa. He's got into the centre. And Napoli have 4 players, but Crippa tries the shot. Maradona. Oh, and it was Baroni. And then Pagliuca, who's shown again why Italy had him in their World Cup squad as their number 3 goalkeeper. He's only 23 years old, and Marco Baroni could have made some amends and hit it pretty true. And now some objects are being thrown onto the pitch. They don't take defeat very kindly in this part of Italy. Crippa. Baroni's right in there again. And it's a free kick to Sampdoria. Vialli. Inside the last 5 minutes, and Careca trying his luck on a day when Napoli will feel they've had scant measure of good fortune. And Sampdoria, who came here having scored only one away goal in the Italian First Division this season, have now added 3 more to that. On the debit side, they haven't conceded any, but they have conceded the first. It isn't, it seems, going to be particularly costly, even though it was the first goal of the game. This is Mancini trying to go between Corradini and Ferrara, but they weren't going to allow that to happen. Well, Mancini wouldn't have expected to get that decision in his favour in an away match. Alemao still hustling, still harrying, still a credit to his profession. Crippa. Oh, and it's broken down. Mancini not exactly in a hurry to take on Napoli, but he's getting closer and closer, and that's Bonetti. Mancini waiting and waiting, anticipating the support that arrived on his left. And we're really in the last rites of the game now. Maradona getting the better of Lombardo and getting a free kick. And more objects being hurled. It's a long throw to reach the playing area. Vialli. Corradini steps in. Maradona and Silenzi doesn't really seem to jump to add to his considerable height. I would have appreciated more than a token effort, but there was no chance that he was going to reach the cross. He'd have to have been almost twice as tall. We're in the final minute on an excellent day for Sampdoria, with a sprinkling of good fortune along the way. Ferrara. A lot of the crowd heading for the exits. But they're going to stay to applaud their favourites, who have certainly taken their chances in this game. Napoli have had much more of the ball. Sampdoria have soaked up the pressure, and they're close now to their victory. Here's Invernizzi. Lombardo with Invernizzi. Francini's gone to the right. Lombardo trying to find a way through the centre. It's just a question of how long the referee will want to add on. It's not the final whistle. So the agony is prolonged for Napoli. But they will play worse than they have done today and win games quite comfortably. There are a lot of question marks asked about Sampdoria when you look back at their previous records, in terms of the league, that is. They've got a reputation as something I might describe as a nearly side, nearly good enough to challenge for the championship. Again, the Sampdoria fans think that the game is over. But I think they've answered some of them here. They've ridden their luck. They've defended for the most part without any air of panic. And my word, how they've made the most of the opportunities that have come their way. Over Silenzi. And Venturin, the other substitute. Couldn't track the ball down either. Well, we're into the 3rd minute of time added on. Sampdoria sure of their 6th win of the season. In this, the 9th round of matches. 15 points out of a possible 18. That's a terrific tally. Just needs for referee Magni to complete the formalities. And here's Lombardo, off on one last run for Sampdoria. It's Mancini! That's an outrageous goal! And really sums up the afternoon. A volley that he had no right to attempt, let alone to accomplish. The ball dipping, dropping awkwardly, falling behind him, and still it found the back of the net, off the inside of the post. And Napoli's misery is complete here. That's a fabulous goal. A wonderful win for Sampdoria. Those 2 goals right on half-time held the key, and 2 more added in the second half, both classics. The Mancini-Vialli combination firing on both barrels. Not the Napoli of last season, but Sampdoria adding further evidence for those who believe that this could be their season. Napoli 1, Sampdoria 4.
Un portava